The Grove Podcast.
Wembley, we're the famous Arsenal and we're going to Wembley. Sorry about that, just had to be done. Hello, my name is Tabs and welcome to a wonderful special episode 156 of the Grove Podcast. Thank you for listening. Now, I'm sure you're all doing extremely well, despite Chelsea winning another moral victory. I mean, how do they do it? They keep getting these moral victories. I think they're top of the moral victory table at the moment. So good luck to them with that. And boring Arsenal have made it to the Carabao Cup Final after beating that despicable clown car of a club from West London 1-0 last night and 4-2 on aggregate. How sweet was that? And joining me today to talk cup finals, tears, boredom, Gary Neville's punchable face and amazing tactical plans, and King Kai is Andy. How are you doing? And how many times have you rewatched and watched Havertz's goal today?
I'm very good, my friend. I'm very good. A bit of a busy week so far, but managed to make it back from a kind of impromptu work trip last night, just in time to, listen to some utter dross that I'm sure we'll get into. But more importantly, to make it in time for a kick-off. In terms of the goal, not a huge amount of times rewatching the goal itself, although I think those kind of breakaway goals are amongst some of my favourite that happen at the Emirates. They're just, I don't know, I just can't beat them, whether it was Gabriel Jesus' against Man United a few seasons back or last night. I do love the goals, but it was more the crowd reaction. Just the limbs, the scenes that was going on behind in the kind of background of the camera shot. It just looked unbelievable. How was the atmosphere?
Yeah, no, it was good. We'll touch on that, but yeah, it was good. And interestingly, it wasn't nervy. It wasn't like the Man United game. We've had league games that were a lot more nervy and a lot more the crowd getting a bit antsy about stuff. But I think yesterday, I don't know, there was something about it. There was. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because the way the game panned out and the way, we didn't feel like really under any threat. Also, the fact, one goal, take it to extra time and stuff like that. I think maybe had it been 0-0 or we needed to win, then that's something different because we were still in control. 1-0 would, if we let one in, it's annoying, but it's not. We're not out of it. So I think that just said, but everyone seemed to be fairly chilled, especially compared to like say recent games we've been to, where it's like any misplaced pass, any pass that doesn't go in a northerly direction is like criticised and is grown. So no, it was good. As we talked about now, there was the pre-light show, which was it was good. It was fun and built the atmosphere, and then I think. It wasn't celebratory atmosphere because it was still a bit on a knife edge throughout the whole game, but it was a fairly positive atmosphere and unexpected. But there we go, and we'll get on to that. So I said in today's pod we'll look back at the Chelsea game, laugh at those clowns, laugh at LinkedIn Liam, and just do some more laughing in general, and then we'll do a preview of the vital home game against Sunderland when we get back to our Premier League business on Saturday. But before we get to that, as always, quick favour. If you'd like, if you're enjoying the podcast, a little 5-star rating, a subscribe on the podcast apps on our YouTube channel or wherever you watch and listen to at The Grove AFC really does help. We do notice the numbers, we do notice the listeners growing, so really appreciate it when you do that, because it helps get mine and Andy's voice, whether they like it or not, into other people's ears. So please spread the word, we appreciate it. Anyway, enough of that. As I said, Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0 last night. And before we get onto your highlights, lowlights, let's start with the team selection. So it was Kepa, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Rice, Zubimendi, Eze, and then Madueke, Gyorgy, Martinelli. So no Saka, because he's out for a couple of weeks, hopefully before NLD. Ode, I think, was the surprise omission. I did have an ITK. Well, I had a friend who's got an ITK or whatever it is, however you want to do it. He told me that Ode was going to be out from about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Interesting.
Well, no, it's not me. It was just like a friend from the friend from the North Bank pod that I meet up before games every now and then. He's just sort of like, we were just talking about it, and he's Ode's out. He's not even with the squad. Oh, interesting. Obviously, doesn't reveal his sources, and he couldn't tell me what the injury was. But I had a little insight into that. Marino out long term, as we know, and Calafiori still coming back from injury, and Kai unlikely to start 3 games. But given that, still a strong team with a bit of rotation. How did you feel about that team? Were you sort of fairly happy? Think, yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Just before that, I thought you were going to kind of announce a direct contact with Hand of Arsenal or something there.
No. Friend of a friend of a friend of a friend.
All the big items until you're recording. You're not giving that away during the pre-pod discussion. But no, the lineup. Yeah, I mean, I thought potentially White might have played instead of Timber. Everything else was kind of as expected. I was certainly more surprised by the Chelsea lineup. If you want to get into that,
yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Just kind of finishing on the Arsenal lineup. I think when we went so strong in that first leg, I think it was always going to be a kind of same approach taken by Arteta in this game. It was only a 1-goal lead. It wasn't. I mean, it should have been a lot more comfortable after that first leg. It should have been 2 or 3. I think. And maybe then we would have seen a bit more rotation, maybe Mosquera into the defence potentially, but I think with only 1 goal and very much a priority to get through, because once you're at that stage of the competition, I think you've discussed this before, like once you're through that kind of quarter-final stage, then it's only an extra couple of games, and the benefit of winning certainly outweighs going out at the for an extra game. So yeah, I think the strength of the lineup was expected. The one, I guess, Kepa over Raya, I'm not too bothered when it comes down to that sort of thing. I think they tend to go with squad harmony on that one potentially, because he might have been promised a certain amount of minutes, or the manager's not going to promise minutes, but you guess you want to keep your second choice keeper fairly fresh, but
really active. Yeah, I mean, on that, before you touch on the Chelsea team, I'll mention it now rather than later, is that the way Chelsea were pressing us in the first 10 minutes in the first half, I was sort of thinking, would it be nice for Rare to be here, just because you got that bit more security on the ball. His passing range is better. He's a better goalkeeper at that. After, as the game wore on, I don't think it made any difference. And Kepa did fine. Okay, he dropped the ball from a corner at one point towards the end, and again a bit new. But no, I was fine with it. You're right. I don't think he's promised it. But also there's a certain expectation there as well, and it's a very difficult thing. We've got to win matches, we've got to win trophies, but I see us as a club that also looks after its people and has due care and attention for its people and things like that. So as you said, no one's got a given to be number one in these games. But if you set that expectation, you can't just go around and pissing players off and not doing it because short term, long term. But don't know. It's a toughie, but it's fine. I wasn't expecting it not to be. I would have gone with Raya, but I think Kepa, he's a cup goalkeeper, and I think he'll stay there in the final. So
I was going to ask you whether you thought he would stay in for the final. Did you think it depends on who we play? I know it's almost likely to be City, but
no, I don't think that makes a difference, because I think they're both. I think it'll be the same. It's a toughie because it first final ages, first chance of a trophy, what it means. But you've seen it before, and a bit like, it'll be, City are playing Stafford, I can't remember, Trafford, in goal, and he played in the semi-final against Newcastle away, and it'd be interesting, if he played him in the final as well. So, and I think the same with, Newcastle were playing, it's hard to tell who's left number one, number two, but I still think Ramsdale's number two there. So I would suggest he would keep him there just because I think that's the type of guy he is, and sort of thing like that. And he'll be confident we can win with either keeper. That's that sort of thing. So I think that's where we'll talk about it. So as for the Chelsea team,
I was a lot more surprised by that. Seeing that 5 at the back come through, and you're looking at it and you're like, is Cucurella going to play left mid? No, he's not. But to be honest, when I looked at it, I was like, I don't think you can take that in any other way than taking it as a massive compliment. I was kind of having to think about it, and we're not an unknown quantity for them. Like, obviously, I think you referenced it at the start of this. They played exceptionally well and won 1-1 a few months ago. And
Yeah.
like even with a more depleted team in the first leg, they still scored 2 goals. So it's not like what they were coming up against was an unknown. And with all that information, having played against us quite a few times, they decided that their best chance of winning was to put 5 at the back, play like Hull and Blackpool used to do when they came to the Emirates when they'd just been newly promoted, and they basically just sat and kind of played for the last 20 minutes in extra time. And that was a massive surprise to me, and I can kind of see what he was trying to do, but I don't know, it feels like there's a fine line between genius and madness, and giving yourself 20 minutes to score against like the best defence in Europe just felt like madness to me. I was so shocked, but also very welcoming of it, because we were never really in jeopardy. It felt like a comfortable game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, interesting, because I mean, when I looked at it, I didn't really look at it too much from that point of view. I was just thinking, oh great, no James, because I think he actually like he made a difference when he came on against when they were 2-0 down against West Ham, and no Neto, who he can have end product every now and then. So I was like trying to see who was more out than in. What maybe not so obvious from TV. So even if it was, I don't think they played with 5 at the back, or they did. When you're defending, fine, you defend with 5 at the back. It's fine. But when they were sort of attacking, actually, it would be more of a 3-2-5. And so they really pinned us back a bit. Have Delap wide on the right, and I think maybe it was Cucurella wide on the left, if I had that correct. Yeah. And then the sort of 3 in the middle. Now Pedro in the middle, and then a couple of others. Don't really care who. Yeah. So actually, it was sort of pushing us back a bit, and it was something. There was a couple of things different that we've seen. So when teams do play with 5 at the back, you don't normally see that. Normally, they don't push up so high. Or if they've got wing backs and a forward, then it's still 3 up front, but you're using the 3 and the 1, and then there's 2 behind. But they would actually have 5 across the front. So I found that quite something different to go with. I think maybe it was the fact that it was just the personnel that they had available to them. I think Estevao had been back and forth to Brazil, family reasons recently. I don't think Parma's just an Arsenal dodger, and it looked like it was an Arsenal dodger yesterday as well, even though he did come on 60 minutes. I didn't see him play any football yesterday, and Garnacho, again, hit and miss sort of thing. So I think it was maybe also due to what they had available to them, and they tried to sort of push people up in certain positions. So I think you're right. Before the game, you think, they've come with a 5 at the back to defend, but I think the way they set out, particularly that first half, and in the first 10 minutes, first 20 minutes, they were trying to really sort of push us back and nullify our strength down the flanks, nullify Madueke, sort of maybe nullify Martinelli, or less so, or more so, nullifying Timber and Hincapié, to do that. And in terms of that tactic, he's got a lot of stick for it. And right, I'm sort of on the fence with this one, because I was thinking, like last night and this morning, 1989, we had to go to Liverpool and win 2-0. But and we went with 5 at the back. And that was, I think, a change to the norm. And what was it? I don't know, in the interviews and all the documentaries about it, what's the one thing George Graham was saying is that we may not be able to win it in the first half, but we can certainly lose it. And so what you don't want to do is be 1-0 down at half time. So you're having to get 2 goals just to get to extra time, that sort of thing. So I can sort of understand it, but then also,
I don't know, but I think
you also need to go for it. I don't know, the balance. I just think it was the quality. They just didn't have the quality there. I don't think who they put, no matter how they set up or what format they put in, they just didn't have the quality, apart from maybe Enzo and Caicedo, but they just clog hoppers.
I mean, I think that would probably make sense had Liam Delap partnered João Pedro up top, and they're kind of going for that double act up top, because they kind of almost had 2 right wing backs, because they had Liam Delap pushed right, like basically looking as if he was a right wing back, but then Malo was technically the right wing back, and I was just looking at it and I was like, I don't know, maybe it was Hincapié's position potentially was making Liam Delap more concerned, or I mean, it was clearly an instruction, because I can't imagine Delap was wanting to do doggy runs up and down the right side. Like, if you're going to go 5 at the back, then I think like I get the point about not wanting to lose it too early, and then you're kind of just playing out the last, whatever, 50, 60 minutes to no real, like, kind of genuine ambition. But I was like, you at least go 2 up top. And João Pedro was like, to be fair, it was his hold up play was really, really, really good. It kind of almost was a mirror of, like, without the goals, obviously, but watching Isaac last season in the first leg of the Carabao, just like he was kind of holding the ball up really well. And like, if they'd had a bit more ambition and maybe Delap partner and João Pedro, they might have been able to do something. But I
think that makes sense. I think maybe if you do have the 2 up top or a 1+1 type thing. So having Delap, I think Delap was there just to be a spoiler. I think their tactic was, get out to Delap, win first or second balls, and have the runners from inside channels rather than outside channels. But you're right. You expect with wing backs to get round the backs and round the side of us. They never did. Everything they were doing was pretty much central and all in front of us. I can't really remember. I've watched the highlights and I can't really remember. They never got in behind. I don't think they ever got in. When you're playing with wing backs and stuff like that, that's maybe what you want, because then it would have been worse. I think it would have been harder for Saliba and Gabriel had they had to deal with Delap and João Pedro. And look, one is fairly decent. The other one is just and I'll get onto a minute. He's not a footballer. He's just a body that kicks and gets in the way and stuff like that. So maybe that, so but they didn't get down the flank much. They didn't get round the sides, and then even when they brought Estevao on or Palmer, nothing, and they weren't getting crosses in or anything. So it was all in front of us. And if you're looking at all the shots they had, just sort of like long range from distance, nothing too much in the box, and it was all just like, okay, fine, we'll just congest the middle. The one thing it did do is, like, I said to the person sitting next to me, Simon, next to me, there was one moment, just the way they set up was like, it looks like they've got more men than us. It was just the way they set up. Because they did a 3-2-5. It was really weird, and maybe just the blue shirts or something like that. It just looked. Where's the space? Where are we supposed to go? So I think there was a bit of method to the madness, but also I think it was flawed, and also they just don't have the talent to do that really. So I think
when you've spent over 1.2
billion, whatever,
you have to come and set up like a kind of lower. I don't even think, like, see if we were playing Brentford last night, I don't think they would have done. That's just strange. Like,
well, no. I think they did. I think they did come with. They came with more of a 3 at the back, and the worst team to actually do it was when Tottenham came to us and we just banked them forward. They were horrible. They just could not defend. They could not attack. I think Brentford actually did make it hard. They played it better. So I think they were actually made it tricky for us.
Random team there.
No. But I just remember it because I said it was ironic that Brentford and Tottenham came with the same plan, and Brentford played so much better than Tottenham did, and we spent them 4-1. And the Brentford, it was a close, was it 1-0 that we 1-0 maybe 2-0 that we beat them. And so but maybe you think maybe go for it a bit, because they have to, but they didn't, and we'll get onto that a little bit more. So what was your highlight and low light from yesterday's game?
I think the highlight has got to be that. Have you seen this? The 2-minute TikTok video from John Terry.
I think I have. There's only so much of John Terry I can take.
Well, this was 1 minute and 59 seconds too long, but I watched it anyway because it was hilarious. And it's just that 2-minute video of him obviously thinking Chelsea were going to do something so that he could upload his stupid face to TikTok. There's a point where he pans the camera to his daughter, who's sitting there just absolutely humiliated by her 40-50 year old, just like. And then for Kai Havertz, just like silkily go right. The pass from Declan Rice, by the way, unbelievable. Weak foot, kind of almost off balance, round. I originally, to be fair, well, not to be fair, but I did think that Kai Havertz was offside, and I was like, that's such a shame because that's a lovely assist. But yeah, I think that's my highlight. The kind of context of seeing their captain, leader, legend humiliate himself, but then not have the self-awareness to put it, like, not upload it. Like, he still obviously wants so much attention.
Such narcissists. Was he in full kit?
But to watch that back, have the context and know that Kai Havertz, who used to play for you, has just scored, and then to still upload it, I just thought it was absolutely hilarious and just sums up that club. But in terms of in the stadium, the goal, fantastic, but that rendition of North London Forever, I think at the end, that sounded fantastic from the
Before I get to your low light, the highlight for me has to be the Havertz goal. I mean, and you're alluding to, so many aspects of it were brilliant, both in the stadium and outside the stadium, by the sounds of things. And the game could not have ended any better, you know. And what I really liked as well, just to get the actual goal, a winning goal. So we actually, you know, we were getting through anyway. It was 0-0 and fine, we would have got through. But to have the goal, you have that moment of celebration, because not only are you celebrating the goal, you're celebrating, we're through to the final now. So it was nice to have that, and it was epic. It's the loudest it's up there with the loudest I've heard it in the stadium. You know, tremendous. You know, and one bit I loved was the celebration from the bench and the subs. It just emptied, and they stormed the pitch. And I've seen a sort of reverse view from behind the dugout, and Calafiori was on the pitch. Calafiori was on the pitch as Havertz was rounding Sanchez, and then he sprints. So I'm sure he was like, "Yeah, I'm in the middle." He passed to me. It was almost that close. So that was superb, and it was just like, So that was really funny, and then. And then obviously the ref blows, and the stadium with the Angel and various other songs going off. It was very loud, very, very noisy, very fun, and then topped off with Chelsea players in tears. So that was delicious too. So it was good. It was good to have that moment.
Yeah, and makes you realise how much the players cared about it as well. Like, some of the reactions immediately as the full-time whistle, you maybe wouldn't have caught it just because of the distance, but they were absolutely buzzing. Like, Declan Rice, obviously Calafiori running ahead of even being blown, but it shows you how, like, because there's always that kind of perception of, it's the Carabao Cup, and it is obviously the fourth best trophy, but it's still a trophy, and still, like, if we're in the competition, we should kind of play to win it. And I was just reminded by it's a major trophy. They're vested, they're cared for them. Wembley, a trophy, and look, they know the pecking order, but just to get there and do that, there was a lot of love for that, and also the fact that it's been Kai and everything he's gone through, you know. So I think there was. I'm surprised they didn't get crushed against the advertising hoardings, because there was a lot of people piling on at the end. But no, it was great, and that was right in front of me, sort of right in down by my end and stuff. So it was just so. And the one thing with the goal, with those breakaway goals, is that anticipation, and it's like. It's just the noise building and the way it was panning out. Some players will get that, and you're like, he's not scoring. But this one, you just thought. And as soon as he gets it, rounds it, and it was great. It was great to see. So there was another breakaway goal from this season that I can't think of the game, but I feel like it was the same end.
We had there was the Man City one where Martinelli chips it over, so Eze ball over the top of Martinelli chips it over. That's less of a long build up, like a long run. That was like a chip and a kick.
Was quite similar as well. It just feels like we've had a few, the Martinelli one to make it 2-0 against Bayern Munich, that kind of so we've had a couple, but that was like, I think that topped them all off. I think just the timing of it. I mean, I'm not sure where the ref got the added time from. It was sort of like there was I don't know if you saw it in the TV. There was this one moment that they crossed it in, poor header from the edge of the box. Kepa grabs it, and Saliba's celebrating, Gabriel's celebrating. I think, well, look, they're gonna, and this was already past 96, and he said, okay, as soon as Kepa kicks it, that's the whistle.
and he kicks it, and look, Rice is pleading with the referee, and thankfully he didn't blow, but bloody hell, it was sort of like, it got to like 98th minute or something stupid like that. All ended well.
I think that didn't go in a bit longer. Didn't surprise. This is probably again the slight, if there is a benefit, just the slight benefit of watching on TV versus being in the ground. But there was a goal kick that Kepa took about 50 seconds, and obviously, so maybe he was adding on for that. There was a throw in that took like Hincapié about 40 seconds. So
but it's what I find, and look, this is stupid, disproportionate. So you can play 45 minutes and you get 3 minutes added on. So you get 5 minutes. You get 5 minutes added on. So that's 9%. Is it? Am I correct? 9%? Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. So it's but then you get 6 minutes, and they add on two. So that's like 30%. And it's not like that doesn't make any sense. Why? What? Just the minutes count more at that time of the game than during the game. But anyway, it's a little bugbear of mine, and we won't get into. Right, low light from last night.
Just that. Do you know what? See, until last night, I not have an opinion that I have shouted loudly, but I don't mind Gary Neville. I hadn't minded Gary Neville. Like, I was like, half the time I can kind of see his, like, kind of try and maybe see where he's coming from. I really didn't like him when he first started his punditry, and then I kind of warmed to him a wee bit. But last night I was honestly, like, I don't even want to be too dramatic about this, but I was...
No, tell us how you feel, because I've got one here, and you saw the word. You saw the word that I've got for my one here. So
I was honestly silenced. I put a message in one of the other group chats. I was am I watching the same game? Does he think that we're 3-2 down? Like, it just felt like this total, like, gaslighting. Like, I think there was a point where it was like after a 1 or 2 minute, what felt like a 1 or 2 minute diatribe about how we weren't kind of going for the game, he called it a Mourinho masterclass or something, like a and I'm like,
is that wrong? You look at what he's won and what he's done, for Christ's sake,
I was like, no, not Arsenal, from Chelsea.
Right. I said, bloody what? Hey,
I'm just like, what? This is what I'm saying. He's saying all these sorts of things, and it was he said something else around that time about, if this was a Premier League team, I'd be having a Premier League game, I'd be having a right old whinge now. As if we are there to entertain him and the kind of Sky overlords. Just like, we're here to win a game. And can you imagine if we would have came out there, conceded after 10 minutes, because we'd flown Hincapié and Timber and everyone, like Zubimendi was up on the last line. Can you imagine? Emotional Arsenal can't manage big moments.
Naive would be called naive.
Yeah.
It's
like, what were they saying in the dressing room? I'm like I'm not. I don't know. I feel like I was actually at the final whistle last night. I was annoyed because I was like, I genuinely felt like we'd been being gaslit, and I'm not usually one for, like, the conspiracy theories of like, EG and Well are against us and everyone hates us. I'm not usually one for that. Yeah. But like, it did feel last night that he came in with an agenda or an axe to grind, and I don't know, maybe he made his opinion up after 10 minutes, and that was then his opinion for like the next 70, 80 minutes, and he just didn't change. I was like, it was just so odd.
No, I mean, luckily I didn't have to put up with that. So I wasn't there. But I think he actually used to be quite good. And he put work in, he put the effort in. Now he's just lazy, and it's lazy stereotypes, lazy opinions. Just makes your mind up. This is my agenda. And it's, I don't know how much is it, because he's on multiple different media and he's different on each one. A bit like, I think actually, what's his name? Carragher's more two-faced or three-faced, because depending on what channel he's on will depend on what type of response he'll give. So he'll get the one on Sky to rile up and get clicks and stuff like that. He'll go on another one, he'll be more measured, and he'll go Monday Night Football to other stuff. It's nuts. So I mean, look, he's the mouthpiece, so we'll attack him, and he can very easily say, no, I won't do that. I'll have my integrity and stuff. So you don't know how much is him versus thing, but irrespective, you can tell he comes in. And look, he can say what he's like, but it ruins the enjoyment for a lot of people. The one thing I've just seen is it just ruins the enjoyment of watching this, and you have no say in the matter. You pay shitload of money for Sky, and you have no say in you got the North, the Manchester mob or the Northeast mob who are there, on co-coms and stuff, and it's just like what can you do? I know a lot of people now are switching to lining up with the Arsenal.com commentary, right. so they can and I think Arsenal.coms know it, so they say something before at the moment kickoff, so everyone can link it up, and you can watch that with the Arsenal.com commentary, and obviously it's going to be biased, but it's you don't have to listen to Neville. No, I've seen so much about that gaslighting. What's Neville talking about? Talking about Rossignol's tactics being amazing, and we're going to break, and he said, the crowd are on edge, and no, we weren't, and it was all he's got this. He said, well, actually, what Rossignol's done, he's wasted a game and one half to actually try and get anything there, put us under pressure, and it's sort of like, and it'll be interesting to see what Gary Neville says at the end. Again, if he came up and said, well, actually that didn't work, that was a bit of rubbish, I don't know, which he won't, but it's
well, exactly, he's never gonna come out and like address it, but it just felt as if, like I said, he had a line that he'd either decided before the whistle had started the game or shortly thereafter that was what his kind of thing was going to be, and he just didn't deviate from it, despite clearly not getting the context of it needing to be Chelsea to bring the game to Arsenal, rather than why would we go expansive? And it's not, we weren't being threatened either, so it's not as if whatever Chelsea were doing was threatening us. We were comfortable, so why wouldn't you just let the time tick down? The time is the clock was our friend. Do you know what I mean? We don't need to do anything. And
I can see maybe one half of it is like, go and kill the game, but I don't know. You play the game that's given to you on the day. Maybe we did have intention to go and kill. I don't think Arteta is one there to sit there and go, all right, let's just sit back and hold on for a 0-0. I don't think we're set up. We've got Martinelli out wide. We've got Madueke out wide. Eze in the middle. And whatever. So I'm thinking that yes, if we have the opportunity to go and kill the game, but you play the game that's presented to you in front of you, and you adapt and adjust accordingly, and stuff like that. So, and the onus was not on us. No, we didn't have to go. The onus was on them. So it's just it's weird. It's just trying to tell it. It's gaslighting. We can all see this. Yeah. What game are you watching?
And can you imagine if it was kind of roles reversed and that game was at Stamford Bridge and we were 3-2 down and we needed to go and get a result and did the same? It would be a bloodbath at that halftime break, and Gary Neville throughout that first half would be like, oh, it's a disgrace, you need to go for it. It's just
the only one that actually I have seen is Paul Merson, who's nailed his colours to the Chelsea mast, ex-Arsenal, whatever. He called out, he said, well, that was rubbish. He called out Rossignol. He wasn't falling for that crap. And it was at least he was calling out, saying it was really poor and terrible. So at least and as I said, I'm saying Paul Merson because he's ex-Arsenal. I'm sure he has some twos, but he's Chelsea. That's his club. I think he's said that before and stuff like that. So the only reason it bothers me that it just seeps, it's just lazy narratives, and we've been here before. You keep telling a story, it seeps into everything, and it seeps into, well, again, I'm going to mention the word boring in a minute, but it just seeps into other media outlets. See, people who don't watch it, people who don't follow it, they just lace it, but it will seep into the whole game. It seeps in narratives, and then it just adds, and then it comes into press conferences, and then it comes into the fans, and then we react to it, and then it somehow gets into the game, and even no one's immune to it. Even maybe when it was talking about nasty Arsenal, and when you get tagged with a certain thing, it's so easy to get tagged with these things. Really hard to get rid of it and it just gets tagged everywhere, and actually I think it makes a difference to how. And then other teams see it. It's a bit like even our corners. Instead of, again, the whole corner thing, instead of thinking, we just want to be good at every facet of the game, it just happens to be that we've become really good at this facet of the game, what's not being good, and we're going to use that. instead of saying, "Wow, that's really good, well played," good on you for doing that, it's sort of like, all right, let's change the rules of corners because and we'll get on to corner. And it distorts things.
Yeah, and last year it was all kind of dark arts FC, and then it was like that's kind of falling away. But like for like 3 months, it felt as if we couldn't do anything right in front of these like away crowds. Because you're 100% correct. I don't think. I mean, it annoyed Arsenal fans probably watching that last night. It certainly annoyed me. I don't know what Chelsea fans' opinions were, but it's that kind of slow influence over the neutral's opinion, because I see it in my own friend group. Like, I'm the only Arsenal fan, obviously, live in Glasgow, and like apart from like the boys that I've met through going to the football that do live up here, like all my kind of school and uni friends, they don't support Arsenal, and then so like, but they'll be like, oh, how was the game? How and they do take an interest, but they don't care. But like, so interesting. You can track. They're like, oh, just all the set pieces and all these are boring to watch, and I'm like, but you're like, and then you feel like you're constantly. Maybe they're trying to wind me up. They probably are.
That's the thing. I'm in groups like that as well. I'm trying not to bite because look, this is true. We don't care. We're not here to please the neutrals. Okay, we are not here to please. We're here to win games, win trophies, whatever. We're not here to please the neutrals. We're here to please the Arsenal fans, and people say, "Oh, I don't care what other people think." Yes, that's true, but also it's not true because people do care. People want to be liked.
I don't think it is true, Tabs. I think we do care what other people.
Oh yeah, I know, but people say it, and I think there is an element of that. And actually, you try and turn it the other way. You say, "Oh, it's great! It's boiling everyone's piss. We're doing all this stuff, which is actually there's nothing wrong with it. We're just very good at it, and all those people are getting annoyed at it." But at the end of the day, I think people deep down want to be liked, so it does get under the skin. As much as people say, well, I don't care. There is an element of, yeah, we do. And it gets repeated. If it gets repeated enough times, it's going to get you going. And then and it's that usual thing. Then you react. You reacted. And well, you know what? If you poke a bear enough, it's going to bloody attack you. And then you're the one that ends up, it's so you're right. You have to basically let them not react and learn to, but it's hard when you hear it from every angle. And this is what, and look, right, I don't care about rival fans because that's what you do, because you know what, I would do exactly the same thing if there was another team doing it, but we're fans. And that's what we do. And no fan is different. We're all the same. We'll take the mickey out of each club. And there's no fact based in what you say because you just spin a narrative to get a reaction from the other fan.
Yeah.
But when it's people that I have to pay shitload of money every week, every month, every year, and this is your job and you're doing the same, I don't mind a bit of tribalism. That's fine because I know you're Man United and stuff like that. And but when it gets to that, that's what pisses me off. And then the influence they have that's what pisses me off about these lazy narratives, these lazy people spinning a story, and that's why other fans, fine, it's jet. We do it. That's we're there all the time. That's the territory. But this pisses me off. But even Peter Drury, yeah, he was like, oh yeah, Arsenal clung on. What game were you clung on to? What? Chelsea were not putting us under it. There was like that. I was actually the last 6 minutes. The 6 minutes to go, you got to get a goal. I didn't put one cross into the box, put us under any pressure. It's like
around between like Caicedo and whoever was playing left back at that point for them. The only time they really threatened, I thought, was when Enzo Fernandez had a shot in the first half that you never really know where they're really going to go. But then they had some distant shots, and then that free kick in the second half, you never really know.
Yeah, it was a bit nervy, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just like, they didn't threaten, but
we didn't cling on. We won the first leg 3-2. We're winning 1-0. What do we cling? We're like,
I think just like if they do want to go down that narrative of boring art, like I don't know.
Well, I was going to ask you about that.
More than right, all right, okay.
No, go. So, but this is the interesting thing. They're going down that narrative of boring Arsenal. Okay, and I've got my opinion. But even within the WhatsApp chat group about people watching that game, there are Arsenal fans going, "Oh, this is boring." Well, I don't know. What did you think?
I think to be honest, both are true. I mean, the first half was a bit like. I think the first half was a bit boring, but it also, I don't think that that's a negative, if you know what I mean. Like, I was happy for it to be boring. Like, I was happy to watch us not concede. Kind of, it's an extension of the point we were making earlier. Like, if we would have went gung-ho, yeah, it would have been really interesting, but we could have been 1 or 2-0 down. And I'm more than happy for it to be boring if it means you're playing in Wembley in, 40 odd days time. The second half I don't think was boring. I don't think the second half was boring. Maybe because there's a bit more jeopardy, because you're thinking maybe they obviously did bring on Palmer and Estevao, and they are players that can create something out of nothing. So you're sitting there kind of glued to it, being like, oh, this could, like, something could happen. Like, we've obviously conceded late against Wolves. We didn't have a great game against Man United. We didn't play well against Liverpool, although we didn't concede. So that there has been that history at home over the past, I'd say 4 weeks-ish of us conceding goals. But I'm happy. If boring, like I said, if boring takes you to finals, and God help us, takes us to 1, 2, 3, or maybe even 4 trophies, I will have Boring FC 26 on the back of my book at that title parade in May.
No, it's fine. And look, if it's a league game, you can say, oh, this is boring, because there's a, you're playing week in, week out in the league, and there's a sort of how you're playing and who you are as a team. This is a cup game. The objective of a cup game is to get through to the next round. Okay, that's it. That's the only objective. When in the league, you see patterns, see trends, and stuff like that. That's very different. But also, I'm too nervous to be bored. I mean, you know, as in a cup game, I'm too nervous because I'm worried and care, and So that's one point from being bored. The other thing is that actually I wasn't bored because I said I'm in the upper tier. I was actually quite intrigued. What I thought was quite a good tactical affair, but quite a good game. That, again, people can vary in their opinion on what they want from games, and watching it on TV versus watching it in the lower tier versus watching it on the upper tier. 3 different experiences. You see things completely differently, and I quite like to see it. And that's what I was like, really like thinking, wow, okay, they're going this 3-2-5 formation, and how we get, because first 10 minutes it was all Chelsea. We couldn't get hold of the ball. They were pressing really well, so I had the thought about Raya versus Kepa, and they press, and they're trying to do that, trying to use Delap, trying to use Pedro, trying to use and it was like, wow, this is actually. Well, I was actually waiting for Kepa to go down so Arteta could have a chat and go like, okay, we need to sort something out here, because they were outnumbering us, outplaying us in the first bit. And so we need to do something here, otherwise we're in trouble. And we go 1-0 down, the momentum, blah blah blah. So I actually found it. You're right. It was right from again. If you just want to see what we had in the first leg, which was open, that was up and down. That's a basketball game. That's the antithesis of what Arteta wants. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying he didn't want that to happen, but he didn't need to let that happen. Yep. Yeah, sort of thing. So I actually didn't find it boring, because I actually found it intriguing from a tactical perspective, even though it wasn't exciting, it wasn't end to end, it didn't have that. But as I said, the idea of a cup game is to get through. There isn't anything, oh, we've been playing really well in the cup, blah, blah, blah. No, it's just get through to next round.
Exactly.
So it's,
Do you know what wasn't boring was watching. Like, my brain immediately just went to like watching. There's a game from when I lived in New Zealand that I will always go back to, and it was when we were playing Watford and they had like 30 odd shots against us. Yes, It wasn't boring, but it was incredibly depressing. So if we just zoom out and have a perspective, if boring takes you, if you have to play boring for one game, because like you say, the first leg wasn't boring. I didn't really think when we played Brighton it was boring. Crystal Palace, maybe it was. I'm not sure. I'm just talking about like the Carabao Cup run now. Like, we were obviously at Port Vale. It could have been a better performance, but I wasn't bored. But boring takes you to a cup final at the end of it, then I'm happy with that. Like, I don't think it's not as if we haven't played well this season. I don't think we have played at our optimum level yet. There's reasons for that, I think, but I just think have a bit of perspective from where we are now, potentially. Like, we're in a final, we're doing well in all 3 others. There's bigger things to worry about, and when you look at that, my brain immediately goes back to that Watford. We got beat and we conceded all those shots, and I'm like, I would take this every day of the week.
No, absolutely. And the other thing, they're blaming us. They don't go and say, oh, the opposition have set up in such a way that it makes it really hard to create anything. It's always our problem to sort out. it's never. Oh well, it's hard because of X, Y, and Z, and no wonder they rely on these, because you know what? If you put 10 men behind the ball, that's really hard to break down, and it's not open, and you can't get in behind, and blah blah blah. So and that's the other thing. It's never. The onus is always on us. It's never the opposition. So, well, why didn't you open up so Arsenal can? Because every time a team opens up, guess what happens? So but they never say that. And look, we've gone on this enough, and look, our job here is not to entertain neutrals, and that's for certain. So that bit I really don't care about. Neutrals, they can fuck off. Anyway, no, but Rory talks football. He said Arsenal are boring to watch. Boring to watch if you're tuning in hoping Arsenal lose, which 99% of non-Arsenal fans do. 3 losses in 37 games. I'd be bored of tuning into Arsenal if only 1 in every 12 games gave me the outcome I wanted. And that basically brilliantly sums it up. We're boring because we don't lose and we don't give you the result you want. And then the rest you just... So there we go. Yeah. So that was that. That's that dual rant over. I got a wee bit of that. No, it's good. Look, I had it all in here anyway. It's just the format. Did you? I can't remember if that was. That was your low light. My low light was Delap, Rory Delap. I see you next Tuesday. This is what I had here. He's such a horrible, dirty, snide, low rent, piss poor excuse for a footballer, and no wonder Chelsea signed him. He suits that club down to the ground. All he would do would be trying to kick Nketiah, and he did the one thing he did that Harry Kane thing where you arch your back and the player going up for a header. He doesn't make any attempt to go for it, and then the player lands and they can't make any attempt to break their fall. And I hate Harry, and players get away with it all the time. I think in rugby they sort of outlawed that sort of thing. I think it's an automatic red card when going out for a high catch and a kick and you get underneath the player. I think they and we need to seriously, because that I'm surprised no one's been really, really properly hurt with that, because it's just horrible to see, and it's cowardly, and it's just nasty. And I say Harry Kane did it all the time, and I really, really hate seeing it. And it's just
the pitches are rock hard, and
I don't think people realise that a football pitch, they are, even though they've got nice plush grass on top, underneath that,
rock hard, and like the height these players jump up to kind of win headers. It's not us jumping and they're getting up into some serious meterage, and I fully agree. Like it's all about the safety, isn't it? Like
But him as a player, and I think the other week he dangerously pushed someone into the advertising hoardings off the pitch. So a bit like
Coutinho from Man City, wasn't
it? Yeah, that's it. And who was it? The French player, the French player that we had that meant Bellerin, Debussy. Yeah, so it was the Austrian guy.
Oh, Lichtsteiner.
No. It was Debussy. I can't remember who the guy was for the team that did it, but Arnautovic, Arnautovic, and look, that ended pretty much Debussy's career, and it led to Bellerin and whatever, sliding doors. But it's just such a snide and dirty, horrible thing to do, and you think, come on, these are professional footballers, you should have respect for your no, but he's just just horrible player, no redeeming feature. And did you see the Rossignol tribute to Delap?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh yeah, when the ball came high and Rossignol tried to control it, and he kicked it into the east stand. So there we go.
Here's me thinking I was like, because I did watch the post-match press interview with Graham Senior, and I was like, did I miss that?
No, it's a joke. I think the other low. Yeah, the other low. Sorry, what was that?
I was just going to say, it's just like 2 Hull level footballers, isn't it?
He's just a horrible footballer. Just terrible, and he's just got no redeeming features. And I think the other low light is I've got an ear infection, and I've got a blocked ear, so I can hear myself sing. And as the opening to this podcast can justify, I ain't no singer, and so singing the Angel full blast, you can hear, oh my god, that's terrible. I had to stop. Really horrible. Anyway, that's enough of that. So as for the game itself, Chelsea actually did overall have 56% possession to our 44. but they only had 0.68 XG to our 0.91. They had 14 shots, 2 on target. We had 5, 2 on target. They only had 1 big chance, and we had 2. We both missed our big chances. And overall, actually, look, we did deserve to win. We had 4.4 to 1.44 over the whole game in terms of XG. And here was an interesting bit in a game where a clean sheet meant victory for us. We didn't concede an open play shot inside the box, so a higher chance of scoring between the 7th and 97th minute. So that showed the extent of Chelsea's ambition. And look, here's some more stats. Like, Arsenal have kept their opponents below 1 XG in 76% of their matches this season. So again, it's boring because we're not letting teams score against us. That's like 29 out of 38, and that's the best in Europe's top 5 leagues. So again, sorry if we're not giving you those games. Go and watch someone else. Go and watch Burnley, then you can be excited.
Those stats just kind of throw into question that strategy from Chelsea and Liam Rossini even more, because we're not conceding goals, so it's and we're also like, God love him, but Gyökeres does not hold the ball up, so you don't need 3 defenders up against. No. So it just kind of further reinforces that point. I can't get I kind of get what you're trying, but I just disagree with. I
think it was maybe the right tactics for the wrong team and wrong game. Here we go. That's the best I can do. Given the benefit of the doubt. In terms of the first half, not a huge amount happened, but I think the one talking point was maybe the way Chelsea approached defending corners by not defending them. If you see what I mean, we're just about to take it, and then I think this was clever in a way. Like, just before we're taking it, then players run out. So I'd suggest if they could, it's hard to find the timing because then we hold off taking it, and actually they lose 3 players from the box, whereas we only lose 2. So we're still up on it, and I think it's clever, gives something to think about, but I still think with good delivery, like the first one, we still got the header, and it was only Fofana's arm that blocked it from going goalwards. So that was... So yeah, we'll be interesting to see if other teams do it. I think we've seen it before. I can't remember in Champions League. I think other teams have done it. Shay Given was talking about it on Match of the Day after the Leeds game. So let's see if others follow the trend. But I'm sure now we'll say, okay, if they do that, we'll do this, and we'll just change it. Yeah,
does because I think it did feel clever, and it was certainly novel, but it did feel incredibly high risk, because they've thrown those 3 players further forward. We've not got a huge amount of time to react, but we are also still in control of the restart at that point. So Madueke kind of paused and was like, I think Zubimendi maybe ran back. I can't exactly remember. So it wasn't as if we were going to be like, oh, they've done this unexpected thing, so let's act really quickly. You're always going to, and then nearly scored from it. And I don't know. I guess the time you have to do it is literally as you're kicking it. Now then you have to be brave, because are we going to be running in the opposite direction? And the other thing I thought about is that someone's going to just take a yellow card, because if the goalkeeper gets it or another player gets it, you're just going to take a yellow card and stop them from breaking away. So, but we'll see. We only got 2 corners through the game anyway, so it wasn't something. You got Chelsea fans saying, we've broken Arsenal's sort of set piece. So we don't score from every set piece. It's a cumulative effect. So we're not going to score. If you give us 2 corners, doesn't mean we're going to score a goal. But whatever. That showed you the mentality. Do you know what I mean? You're turning up to these away and at the Emirates, and teams are almost treating our corners like probably how we were feeling when Chelsea got that free kick, where you're like, is Palmer in it? Is Enzo Fernandez or whoever else was kind of looking at you like, this is a really good chance. They're treating that as the same. And
well, that's how we. The second goal against Leeds. Leeds panicked. There's no Arsenal player in sight. Get in the box and Leeds will score for you. So it's exactly. We're panicking teams with that. So it's a thing there. And second half again, pretty much the same. It was just on edge just because of game state. But again, one of those ones you look back pretty comfortable. They had a few shots from distance. we had the Gabriel chance in the 78th minute with a far post header after Zubi cross, hit Cucurella in the face, which I guess that's a bonus. If it's not going to go in, then at least hit Cucurella in the face. They had that free kick in the 81st minute. And then the biggest talking point, was what should have been a penalty, or in my opinion, even we couldn't tell in the ground. What do you think? Were you on the penalty, should have been a penalty, versus I can see why they didn't give it?
No, stonewall penalty for me. I don't... I actually think the one in the first half was out, like from that corner we were just discussing. I think that is a handball, like his hand's in a unnatural position. But I don't... I think it's a stonewaller. The only thing that would give me slight pause would be he does have to move his leg in it, but I don't think he has to move his leg round and up. And if you look where the ball ends up and Martinelli's through on goal, I think he sees that, and then that's his second action. The first action's not a foul. He does get the ball.
And it was outside the box, I think, as well, the first time.
Oh, was it? Yeah, that second action, I was just like, how have they not given that?
Yeah, I think they said it was natural follow through or something like that, but the follow through is natural, but he lifted his leg, so that there was a clear. It wasn't like hit the ground and bounced up. No, he definitely hooked his leg, and that's I mean, that's definitely a penalty for me. So I don't understand how they get it. I put it like this: if the ref gives it real time, it's not being overturned. But that's a penalty. And then it's 6 minutes added on, which turns into Fernandes has a shot wild over the bar in the 91st minute, and then 98th minute, there's a cross into the box. Incapia heads it clear to Trossard. Nice ball round Cucurella to right, to down the left to Rice. Rice crosses it. Can see the players running. It takes a little flick, I think, off Chalobah, whoever it was back there, but it just helped the ball into into Havertz's pass, and and Nelly's still running. He had such an engine on him, but lovely stuff. Cue wild celebrations, and we had our nice moment, and
you jumping all over Simon at that point, were you?
Exactly. So Kai's scored now. Is it 3 goals in his last 4 appearances against Chelsea? So he's and there's definitely no love for his old club there. He's scored 8 goals in 13 games in the League Cup. His 3 goals for Arsenal have come as a substitute. And actually, we've got a season of players scoring against their old team, with Marino against Newcastle, Rice against West Ham, Eze against Crystal Palace, and Havertz against Chelsea. So that's... have we got any Man City players in our team? Oh yeah, Jesus, there we go, at the Etihad.
And we've got Brentford in a couple of weeks, don't we? So maybe David Raya will...
Damn. Well, hopefully he's not coming up for a late corner, please.
I was thinking more the Paul Robinson from...
as
well, but... I think just on that, because you touched on the goal, I thought even in that first, the time he was on the pitch, I thought he was really good, and you kind of see that difference between a kind of a striker, the more facilitative striker who makes himself available as that kind of kind of bounce board pass, and compared to Gyökeres, who obviously plays a lot more last line and wants to be more last action. But there was a stat that came up on TV again about Gyökeres' touches in the first minute, and he had 1 touch in the first half an hour, I think it was.
Which other strikers has this? Or did they count Pedro's? Did they count? That's what I mean. Agendas. It's like, what's the point?
Boring. It's like, we all, nobody from Arsenal's saying he's Haaland. Do you know what I mean? We're saying I do have some issues. I don't think he's great, but I also don't think he was ever going to come in and score 40 goals. I know some people thought he was going to be great, but I was always expecting him to struggle. But with that, you then don't, it doesn't then change halfway through the season. It
shows a complete lack of understanding of what the player is or what his role is. He is a low touch player. He's not there to come back one touch. So it's like saying, how many goals has Raya scored this season? Oh, Jesus, what a waste of money. It's like, that's not. He's a low touch player. Wherever he is, so it's again, it's just like using the wrong statistics trying to drive an agenda. And also the amount of touches you have doesn't matter. I'm I'd be really worried. The highest touches in that game went to Raya. Oh, well, does that mean they had a good game? No, it does. It means actually the opposite. You know, so it's like, it just shows a complete lack of understanding. And that's the sort of thing. It's like, that's not intelligent analysis. That's just lazy stuff. But
I also don't think it was correct, because I remember him having at least 3 or 4, and then I'm just so bored of it. Like, just on with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we weren't struggling. Like, we weren't scoring, but like we didn't need to again. So
no. But it's fine anyway. So Chelsea have suffered more defeats in League Cup matches against Arsenal than versus any other team. That's 5 defeats. Good. Arsenal have reached the League Cup final for the 9th time. They've won it twice, the last time in 1993. None of the current squad was born the last time the Gunners lifted the League Cup. Unbelievable.
What year did you say it was, Tabs?
Huh?
What year did you say there, sorry?
1993, Steve Morrow.
That's when I was born, so I'm not actually.
I was 10. No. I was 10. No, what am I talking about? 20. I was 20, not 10. Jesus, I was 20, not 10. Yeah.
So Arsenal won the League Cup.
Yeah. I was 20 years old. There we go. Yeah, Steve Morrow and Tony Adams lifting him up, then breaking his collarbone. Arsenal have now kept 20 clean sheets in 38 matches across all competitions. That's the same number we managed last season in 58 matches. And the final statistic, one of my favourites, Arsenal are now unbeaten in their last 10 games against Chelsea in all competitions. 1-1, draw, 1, draw, 1, draw, 1, 1. There we go. Nice. Can we play you every week? All right. So any players stood out? Yeah, we talked about Havertz. Any one particular player that stood out for you yesterday?
I think Hincapié was fantastic. Probably his best performance in an Arsenal shirt. I thought he was very, very good. I know you only asked for one, but seeing as also Martinelli as well. I thought Martinelli was.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, Hincapié. Yeah, he had the most tackles, most duels won. Yesterday. So yeah, he was good. They were definitely targeting him, and Delap got no change out of him. So yeah, an impressive performance, and I think I'd rather have him there for that game the way they did than Calafiori. I think he was more defensively minded. I still liked a bit more from him in attacking sense. I was expecting an outside of our winger type, for him to go around and cross the ball. More just like a bit do a few of the Tierney things. He seems to get in that position and then come back in instead of whipping it into the box. He did have that one shot in the first half, which was like a superb shot. And that was a good save. But yeah, I think he stood out. And I was going to say, for me, Nelly just running all day. He had a couple of through balls over the top, I think, which were most dangerous. He just worked so hard. And yeah, the fact that even then for the Havertz one, he was like in line with Havertz for that. Yeah, he needs a rest. He did really well. And okay, then I'll let you have another. I'm just also going to mention Eze. Not in so much that on the ball, I think he looked a bit lost. I'm not sure where he just seemed uncertain what he was meant to be doing, where he was meant to be, and he didn't do much in an attacking sense. But not many people did. But this was like he got the memo. He realised what being an Arsenal player was all about. Off the ball, out of possession. He worked his ass off. He was so very positive from that perspective. You could see him really trying hard for that piece. We had no Marino, which is a big loss. In that position, no Odegaard, which we know he may not be in your face, but does the hard yards. This was when I think he suddenly. I know my remit off the ball. I've got to do it, and I think he showed that yesterday. So now we just need the other half to click going forward, which I'm sure it will. When the weather gets nice, I'm sure when the finals are, he's a big game player. He'll turn up.
Oh, it does feel slightly like Eze's lost a little bit of confidence, and quite understandably after that the kind of hook in the Villa game, and then didn't play too much in between then. So it just some of his touches, it feels like he's taken an extra touch, whereas earlier in the season for us, and certainly last season for Crystal Palace, it was second nature. Just got the pass away, or he took his first touch into space and away and around a defender. It does feel like he's kind of searching for that, and maybe in terms of the instruction, because he doesn't want to come out the team again for not tracking his man like against Villa. He's almost thinking about that, so he's not acting as naturally. And
that will come. He's played more minutes this season than he had last season, even with Palace. That sort of thing. At this stage. So I think that will come. It's just part of the territory at being Arsenal. You'll be great going forward, but if you're not great going back, I'm sorry, that's not going to work for us. And I think players learn very quickly. I think Madueke's learned, and he's picked up that aspect of it. You've seen Trossard, I think, particularly in the first half of this year, he's worked great. Nelly, get it. We asked Saka to do it. There's no one's let off. Gyökeres, again, he works his socks off. He was chasing everything yesterday. So I think it's just part of, you just need to get fit enough to be able to deal with that and then do the good stuff. So over to you, Eza, if you want to be, and I think he's loving it. I think he's loving the challenge. There's the boys coming into the changing rooms and just the smile on his face, and he played the whole game. So so it would have been very easy to put Havertz and Jesus on, and take off Eza and Gyökeres. So I think it was I think maybe it's finally sunk in, or it's like this was the first time he had to show it, and it's a good sign. Depending on what's up with Odegaard, I'll find out in a minute. Who may have to play against Sunderland. So let's see. So look, City play Newcastle tonight. Likelihood is that City will go through, but you never know, especially given their current form. He can't play, so their defense is made of Swiss cheese. So who do you have any preference who you'd rather play?
I think because it's actually not too bothered. I'm not too bothered. I think I do agree. I think it will be City, and obviously you've kind of got that added element of if it is City, and we go on and win it, you're kind of putting down an even further marker. If it is Newcastle, I mean, they've not been great this season. We've already beaten them up at St James's, and it's obviously at Wembley, so it's on neutral ground. So I'm not too. I think that it's more like I used to go into. I mean, I'm sitting here saying this 40 days out from the final, but nervous as hell. But used to kind of be like, oh, what happens like if they do this, or if this player plays, or if this player is missing from Arsenal? But we're just playing so. Like, we're getting the results and playing not the most attractive, but like we're playing effective football at the minute, getting results, and it just gives you such supreme confidence in whoever we play. Will, I don't know, certainly show up. No guarantees of winning it, but I'm going into that game fairly confident, regardless of who it is we play.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Haaland, I'd be City all day, because we could get through them quite easily. The defence is porous and stuff like that, but it's the Haaland effect. And he can win it on his own for you, just a couple of goals, and you're done. There's also the psychological aspect. As Newcastle, we know what Arsenal and Newcastle games are like, but the fact it's on neutral territory, a bit different. They aren't the team, but whoever, we can beat both teams. We're better than both teams, so I'll take whatever. If I'm going to go from a negative perspective, I'd rather lose to Newcastle than Man City. But that's my defensive mechanism kicking in. But we'll see. But all we want from tonight are just season-ending injuries like Marino's for Havertz, nothing career-ending, red cards, all of that. Just something real nasty shit. That's what we always hope for in these sort of games. Anyway, that's been. Yeah, I love that. 67 minutes of good chat, that one. So look. Let's get on to your 3-word reviews, and then we'll preview Sunderland, and we'll try and do that within the next 10 minutes. So 3-word reviews. Thank you for sending those through. Appreciate it. On Blue Sky, X Threads, TikTok, and the Grove WhatsApp group. So again, as always, if I say your name or handle wrong, it's because I'm terrible at these sort of things, but apologies in advance. So anyway, on Blue Sky, Tony Inch practice, Rossignol tactical disaster class. Yep. Sid Silk, Arteta schools imposter. Yeah, he certainly did. And Harry with tongue in cheek, Rossignol tactical masterclass. There's a lot of Rossignol hate here, or love, whichever way you want to do it. Mr. C the Gooner in total control. Crispy Welch Esquire, boring, brilliant, Havertz. Yeah. And then Aaron Kanitsnek, ground it out. I guess we did to a point. Anyway, right, on to you wonderful lot on threads. It's always give me good ones. Nicky Guna 06, Havertz scores again. He does. Anthony Synth Funk, Chelsea will score. There you go, Gary Neville. That's for you. Because apparently he kept on saying his goal. Yeah, and Anthony Synth Funk came along with Chelsea goal coming. And Anthony Synth Funk, Gary Neville idiot. There you go. Thank you, Anthony. Chapper's Delight, boring Chelsea. Yeah, 100%. And Chapper's Delight again, delicious Cucurella tears.
That's my favourite one so far, I think. Delicious Cucurella tears.
Yeah, Sam 13 Jaws, Kai fucking Havertz. Indeed. And just a shout out to Sam 13 Jaws. He's an illustrator. He does stickers and magnets and the like. So I've purchased a couple to decorate my what are those really expensive mugs that they sell at Arsenal for about 50 quid or something like that? Stanley. So I've got a Stanley S cup here. I'm not going to spend 50 quid on one, so I'm just going to decorate it with Sam 13 Jaws stickers instead. And I got that free at a Sabrina Carpenter concert. There we go. Anyway, enough of that. Danny Richards, North London Forever. Yep. Okay. S Disney Runner. Kai effin Havertz, thank you for the non-sweary version. Livingstone Troy in the final, we are indeed. Biodunai, KG Carabao win, yep. Yen Han 10, extra 1 minute, yeah, very pleased for it for a change. Paul Latham, Dignity 18. Carrier Bag, Clowns, Chelsea, that's my favourite one so far. DJ Bukat, Chelsea lost twice, they did. Joe Motsepi, easy enough win, yeah. Kaz Cad the Nerd, Kai Havertz. Matty Rambo shoots 1. Right, this is cheating, but I'm going to take it because we beat those clowns. 1-0. That's one word. To another one word. Arsenal. Thank you. And Groovy Cathers 2. King Kai's Revenge. Okay, right. Dubs for Sam on X. Havertz scores again. He did. And Arsenal canon picks from this parish. Okay, Sarah. All right, enough of my singing. All right, TikTok, Sparks. Efficient, controlled, comfortable. Yeah, it was. User 444. The Combat 18's rattled. For those that know, that's a reference to the Chelsea Headhunters and the pleasant company that they keep with each other. If not, if you want to find out more, go and Google it. And then Gary Thomas, controlled 1, Wembley. Indeed. Right. On to the Grove WhatsApp group, and for those of a nervous disposition, close your ears now. From Alex Munro, get fucked, cunts. You can have it again. he meant that. He really meant that. Thank you, Alex. I think you speak for a lot of us. I think that's what I was shouting at the end of the game to everyone who cared. Oh, and that was my biggest highlight. I've been to plenty of Arsenal Chelsea games, and we have to get the train in the same direction to the game and away and from the game. And I tend to get to the game early for Chelsea games because they are the most obnoxious fans in the world on tube trains, and it's just a horrible experience. And I've been there before, and strangers, and it's like, I just want to avoid that, like that.
Well, what happens?
Well, no, they're just obnoxious in your face. Just no, it's just anyway. And also the fact I didn't want to be going home on the same train with happy Chelsea fans. So the fact that we're on the same train and they're all miserable and offering people out and all the rest of it, it was like glorious because I just did not want to be. I would have stayed at the Emirates until midnight just to avoid that train.
Nursing a belter of a hangover now, I'd imagine, because you're
exactly. I would have had to drown my sorrows. So anyway, thank you. Henry, 60 million drains. Yep. Matt Stacey, London is red. Owen, boring finalists. Yeah, I will take that every day of the week. Daljeet, never in doubt. Sensi, we're going to Wembley. We are. Noel Mickaday, LinkedIn manager defeated. I like that one. And Shanice, best game ever. Yes, firmly tongue-in-cheek. Same old Chelsea from Soren. From CERN. And then Faz, cheating again. Are you not entertained? Yeah, I'll take it. And then from the boy, Gianluca, never in doubt. So thank you again for those. All appreciated, all good fun, and all summed up beautifully. Right.
Get one from you, Tabs.
Get one from me. I'm just going to repeat what Alex said. There you go. There you go. That's me. And what about you? What have you got for me?
Let's go and win it. Well, that's not 3.
That's 4. Let's win it. Let's win it. Let's win it. There you go. I'll adapt it for you. There you go. Right. There we go. So, Premier League, game week 25. We play Sunderland, 3:00 on Saturday, the 7th of February. Now, before myself and Andy, we do our preview. I've got my friend Andy Younousis, lifelong Sunderland fan. He did a pod with me for the away game, and he's not available to pod this week, so he's left a nice little voice note, which I will play now.
Evening, Tabs. Thanks for having me on. Sorry for not being able to talk to you in person and the fact that you're going to have a monologue to deal with, but here's some thoughts about the game on Saturday and where we're at generally. So I guess we spoke in November, and at that point I think, well, I know I was in dreamland, lots of Sunderland fans were. There was a massive sense of pride and enjoyment in what was going on, but there was also quite a sense of nervousness about how long is it going to last. We kept being told that we hadn't played anyone good yet. Everyone was telling us we were going to fall apart when half our team left for AFCON in December. We've now been through those challenges and some others 3 months on, and we're still doing all right. So things have settled down. I think we now know we're not a flash in a pan, even at least not for this season. You know, we're a good team. We've got some really good players. We've got some exciting players. We've got a really good coach. We've just had another pretty good transfer window, albeit a little more low key than the one in the summer. The squad's been trimmed a bit. We've added 3 more exciting young players. So yeah, we're looking pretty good, I think. We've got 36 points, which is more than I thought we might have all season, at least at the start of the season. And the stats will tell you that should be good enough to see us stay up. There are definitely areas for us to improve on, but it's really easy to forget how far we've come in a very short space of time. And, you know, looking back to just May last year and the squad we had then, yeah, it's an incredible turnaround. I think everyone's now starting to take it for granted, and when we lose games now, people are probably getting a bit more upset than they were at the beginning of the season. But I'm still very grateful for where we are, and the team and the club still are in a huge amount of credit from my perspective. So I guess you all know that we're the only unbeaten team in the Prem, thanks to your result a couple of Sundays ago. Performances and results at home have been excellent. We've turned around a few games where we've been down, and just kind of keep going, have a lot of belief, get the crowd involved. So at home things have been great. Definitely an area for improvement is our away form. We've been okay at times, we've been pretty poor at other times. Recent performances and results at Brentford and West Ham have been the worst of the season in terms of performance. I think there was definitely some mitigation / excuses for them, especially the Brentford game, which was right at the end of a very busy period without the AFCON boys. So there were some excuses, but the away form is becoming a little bit of a concern. So I just checked, we are 3rd in the home form table and we're 17th in the away form table. So yeah, that tells the story. Thank goodness for our home form. So given that, I'm not that optimistic about Saturday's game. I didn't manage to get a ticket, but I have been to probably 3 of our worst performances of the season, the 3 worst ones, which were all away from home, all in London: Fulham, Brentford, West Ham. So I wasn't actually that gutted that I didn't get a ticket. So yeah, I expect we'll treat it like most away games. We will have shape. We'll stick to our shape. We'll try and soak up some pressure. We'll play a little on. We won't play entirely on the break, but we will play on the break a bit. There'll definitely be some low block action happening, I expect, and we'll see if we can take our chances when we have got the ball and when we are in possession. So I think prediction wise, despite what I've just said about how bad we are away from home at the moment and how I'm not very optimistic, I can't bring myself to say that we're going to lose, even though I think that's pretty likely. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, I think, and I'll give you goal scorers. Obviously there's no Granit Xhaka. We're not expecting Xhaka to be available at the weekend. He's still out. So obviously I'd have said he would score, but he's not there. So I'm going to suggest Enzo Lefebvre Panenka penalty, and then probably a Dan Ballard bicycle kick to round it off. Okay, there you go. See you soon.
Okay, thank you, Andy. I've not listened to it, so I have no idea what you said. But it's very embarrassing that you're predicting a 5-0 loss to Sunderland and that you'll be happy with that. So there we go. That's the way it works. So anyway.
Granted, that has cooled off recently. I don't expect him to get sent off after 5 minutes, but we'll see.
We'll see. It'll be even harder because he's not playing, unfortunately. But yeah, he'll be sent off on the bench. That's it. Oh yeah, because he was round with West Ham fans, so he could be in with the training staff and still get sent from the bench, but we'll see. Anyway, so back to the Premiership, and now get the Men in Black. I don't know what the device is, but the thing that makes you forget. We've got to forget the semi-final win against Chelsea. That's done. Chance to go 9 points clear of City, who play Liverpool away on Sunday. I love these 3 o'clock kickoffs away from the spotlight, the usual media attention, like last week versus Leeds. Just get on with the job in hand. Let's go. What are you looking forward to, not looking forward to as far as this game's concerned?
Yeah, I think going 9 points clear, because I think we will. I think we'll win. Sunderland was lucky enough to get up to the away game for that 2-2 draw, which was a heartbreaker, but always good to.
It was an entertaining game.
What was that? Sorry,
it wasn't a boring game, was it?
No, it certainly was not boring. Unfortunately, I would have taken a boring 1-0 win. But they were fantastic at home. I thought they were really good, especially in that first half. I think it was ironically also one of our best performances of the season. I thought we were really good, but they were good as well and have continued to be unreal at home. I was having a brief run through their fixtures and results kind of just before we jumped on, and not so good away from home. So I think that gives me a decent level of confidence that we'll right what was, I don't know if you can call it a slump, because we've still been getting points, but obviously beat by Man United, haven't been playing that well at home with draws to Liverpool, and the Kairat game, although we won 3-2, it wasn't ideal. So I think there'll be a good opportunity to kind of right certain wrongs of those games against a team who, like I said, I think they've already been beaten by West Ham and Brentford. I did actually watch that West Ham Sunderland game, and they didn't look great. They were missing Granit Xhaka for the first time in, I think, that game. So they maybe they've modified and adapted since that game, but they didn't look great. Famous last words, but I think I'm not expecting a fantastic, great game. I don't think we'll beat them kind of 5-0 like we did against Leeds, the other newly promoted team that we've played at home this season. But I think we'll still get it done.
Yeah, I mean, on that point, yeah, their home form, they're the only team now unbeaten in the Premier League at home. They played 12, won 7, drawn 5, scored 21 against 9. So, almost a 2-1, 2.5-1 sort of, average. But away from home, they've won 2, and those 2 away games, Chelsea and Nottingham Forest. But then they've drawn 4 and lost 6, and it's almost a 3-1 ratio. Goals for 6, away 17. And look, you talk about their recent results. Drew 1-1 away. They went through a tricky period, I think, over Christmas and the New Year, because they had a lot of players away for the AFCON that they're relying upon, and they drew away to Sunderland. But they did all right. They didn't lose too much, but they drew away to Sunderland 0-0. They drew 1-1 at Leeds. They had the great 0-0 against Man City, and then drew away to Tottenham. So actually coped all right, but then sort of, I think it's just sort of caught up with a bit. So you're right, they lost 3-0 to Brentford, but then they beat Sunderland 2-1. Lost away to West Ham, but then beat Burnley 3-0 on Monday Night Football. So it is very much their home form is what they're relying on for their position in the league, and they get the crowd. They're very emotional, a bit like the Leeds last week. Mm-hmm. If you get the crowd behind them and you get that momentum going, and they can be a very good team that. And stuff like that. We'll get onto that in a second. So I think that sort of explains a lot in terms of where they are and why they're there, but also the contrast between home and away. And in terms of what you're not looking forward to. It's
a very weird point to make, but I think I guess there's the anxiety slightly coming back in if we do continue to play like we kind of have done in recent weeks at home, which I don't think will be helped by the pitch. So like the pitch, we obviously the women's team played on Sunday, we played last night, and then was it Saturday 3 p.m. the game is that?
Yeah, and there's been a lot of rain. There's also the 3rd-4th playoff game for the Women's World Championships game as well. So there was 2 games on that pitch. I think on the Sunday. So it's it's not looking optimal.
Yeah, it's had a bit of activity on it. So kind of one of those ones. Like it's like I don't think it'll matter, but I hope that doesn't become a factor in the game. I'm not really expecting it to, because I don't know where they employ their groundsman from at the Emirates, but
it's normally pretty good. I mean, they don't call it a carpet for a reason, so I'm sure they'll be getting it's the rain that's the issue now as well. But I'm sure they'll be getting the lamps out and doing all that stuff that they do in these stadiums. For me, I'm looking forward to hopefully a double celebration. It's my dad's 80th. I'm going out for a big family lunch before the game. And then
Mr. Tabs when it comes.
Yes, it is on the actual Saturday as well. So we're doing that, and then I'll be making my way to the Emirates. Whether I get there for kickoff or not is neither here nor there. But I'll be there at some point, and I just hope we make amends for the 2 drop points from the away game. In terms of not looking forward to Chelsea, a hangover from the semi-final. Just we need to refocus. We've got there, done it. This is our bread and butter. This is what really matters. And this comes to the question. I sort of posted it in the WhatsApp group and stuff, and I've mentioned it to a couple of people. It's a bit of a moot point now, to a certain extent. But I say before yesterday's game, if I could guarantee you one, would it be getting to Wembley or 3 points against Sunderland?
That's a good question.
Or you lose 1, win 1. There you go. That's even harder.
You lose 1, win 1. Can I know what the Man City result is on Sunday?
No.
Oh. I think you lose last night and you win on Sunday, because I don't think Man City win on Sunday. I think you take 9 points. Well, I don't know if they. Yeah, well, I don't think Man City win. And I think, I would take the Sunderland 3 points.
Yeah, I was saying the 3 points is more important, but we've done it. We've done the Wembley. Maybe we can get both. Oh, and we should get both. But that was it. So, how do you think? What do you think in terms of the lineup will be? How we approach this in terms of the lineup? I mean, Saka's going to be out. We're not sure about Odegaard. We have Brentford away on the Thursday, Wigan the following Sunday, so that's chance for full rotation. The Chelsea game was last night, Tuesday, so plenty of time to recover. We're more likely to rotate at home than away. Sunderland are a big, powerful, direct team. Do we match up, or do we go more technical, or a mix? There's no Marino, which would be handy.
Yeah,
I'm finding it impossible to predict. But what are you thinking in terms of how we're going to line up?
I think it'll be fairly straightforward. I think it'll be Raya coming back in Pretty much the same team we played at Leeds, to be honest. Maybe Eze continuing instead of Havertz was in the kind of right 8, so maybe Havertz does go back there, but I would expect Eze to continue from last night. So I think you did mention a few games there, but we've obviously got the benefit of not having those 2 Champions League games. I think from the last time I looked at it, a week or 2 ago, February is quite light in terms of games, so although it does feel like there's a few coming up in the horizon, there's probably a bit of chance to rest after that, and especially like you said, we've got Wigan at home, where you could hopefully kind of rest either Gabriel, Saliba, or both of them against. So I would go full strength, same as Leeds, apart from bringing Calafiori in for it feels like a bit of a shame considering how well Calafiori did play last night, but I think Calafiori is just one of those kind of unicorn players that give you so much going forward. So I would bring him.
Yeah, I suppose thinking about it, Brentford away it's Saturday to Thursday, so again it's enough day, 5 days. We've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We've got days there. So it's tempting to play your best players all the time. At some point they need a rest, and they'll get a rest against Wigan. So, but I'm not adverse to White starting over Timber. But so you got White over Timber, Saliba and Big G. They played yesterday. I don't think they had a huge amount to do yesterday. I would bring Calafiori in over Hincapié, and then maybe take Hincapié to Brentford, and then so hard in midfield. Taking out Zubimendi or Rice, it's a tough one. I mean, I like your idea of Eze staying in there if he's recovered. He may still be that good. And then do you start Trossard? Do you start Havertz or Gyökeres up front? I find it impossible to tell. But based on what you're saying, and if we're going time to rest, then it's Timber, Saliba, Big G, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Eze, Madueke, Havertz, Trossard, because he didn't start the other day, and that's that. Yeah, but it's I'd say
I think I would prefer Havertz over Gyökeres up there, because I think we've seen Eze play his best games when Marino was up there, and kind of more of that player to link against. That's just not going to happen with Gyökeres. We've already touched on that. So I think you get more out of Eze by playing Havertz. I think Havertz offers you more in other parts of the game as well. So I would go Havertz.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I'd like to. I'm happy with him in 8 or up front. Having seen what he did at Leeds or yesterday, it's just how his body holds up, and we maybe need to be a bit more careful because Marino's out for a considerable period of time, possibly the whole season. So we need to be a bit careful with that one. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he only came off for like half an hour, 20 minutes the other day. So we'll see. Look, so on to Sunderland. I mean, they are the biggest surprise package in the Premier this year. They've done amazingly well. I think everyone was expecting them to be relegation fodder, because they came up through the playoffs. And even after their good start, I don't think people expect them to sustain it. But as I said, they got through the tricky period where they were with their players at AFCON. Their home form is keeping them in it, and I think they're practically, they've hung on in there. And I think they've regressed a little bit, but which is to be expected with the players and the squad they have. But they're in a great spot, and I think they're almost safe. I think how many points are they on there? They're in 8th place on 36 points. I think we were talking previously with my friend, I don't think anyone's been relegated for a long time on 38 points. So I'm pretty sure they're safe. They're in 8th, for crying out loud. There's worse teams than them. They keep their home form and they're done. Could even get Europe if for some reason the magic continues. So the only other thing is they're 8th, but they're 18th in the XG table, so they're overperforming by 10 positions. Now, is that sustainable? We've talked about Villa being overperformers in terms of XG, and the Brentford game being a perfect example of that, and then the game previous to that being another perfect example of that. So, is that going to be them for the whole season, or are they going to regress a bit? Because even if they regress, if they were to finish mid-table, they would be overjoyed, absolutely ecstatic. So they'll be missing Granit Xhaka. He's injured, and he's one of their top-rated players, top assists, top-rated. But they have some danger. Brian Bobby, who scored against us, looks a unit. I think they're well coached. I think they're going to be aggressive. They'll be direct. They can keep possession. their main thing will be trying to exploit the transitions. I think they will try defend deep and then counter us on the break using their wide men, their wingers, their fullbacks to pace over the top to break in the transitions. I don't think they're going to come and take the game to us. I think maybe for them this is a free hit. These aren't the games they're expecting to get anything out of. If they do, then great. They won't have the home field emotion advantage of it. So yeah, I think our press will be important. Put them under pressure. Don't let them have a chance. Just be wary of the counters of the wide men. They'll be like getting the ball up high, trying to win first balls, second balls, transition off that. They have some dangerous players, like against Burnley, scored a couple of nice goals.
I quite like Enzo Lafay that they've got. Not in terms of step up, but I think he's definitely proven himself as a Premier League player. He's quite tricky, he knit the game together quite well for them. Been impressed. Yeah.
And as I say, there's Bobby, Talby looks pretty good. So yeah, we'll see that. Not to be taken lightly, but if we do our job, we should be winning. And there's no real recent Premier League history. Okay, we drew 2-2 back in November, but the last time we played a proper match was in the EFL Cup. We won 5-1 back in December 21, and before that in the league it was 16th of May 2017, and we won 2-0. So there you go. So what's your prediction? Andy predicted that they're going to lose 5-0.
I don't know. I think I'll go. I don't think they'll score. I don't think it'll be an expansive game for Marcel. Say a 2-0 or 3-0. I think.
So which one?
Oh, she's gonna hold me to something. I'll go 3-0.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's just going to be hopefully a perfunctory 2-0 win, forget, move on game type stuff. You need championships are built on these sort of games. Let's not turn it into anything more than it needs to be. And there we go. Wow. Okay, that was 90 minutes in. Oh, you got your finger up. What's up?
One question: if we win Saturday and City lose Sunday, would you say we're guaranteed to win it? Would you say we're champions?
No, never. No, because
9 points.
Shit happens. We're in a very good position. You can be comfortable and confident. If you take away 3 points and goal difference from that, so it's basically in essence you're working off a 6 point difference because and whatever our goal difference is. Because if you if we go to the Etihad and lose, I want to be in the position where you can go there and lose and it makes no difference. But then that's only 2 games, and then all of a sudden things can happen. So we're well set. I know it's not the City of old, but they can't be shit for consistently, or maybe they can. But no. It won't be until you were talking double digits. Then you're going to be a bit more okay, and then I'll be getting the abacus out and just sort of like, okay, how many points, how many more points do we need? How many points do we need? But no, it's still will be only February, 4 months left. A lot can happen and the wheels can fall off. So let's go. Let's just do what we need to do and let's not worry about City. There we go. All right, but look. Wow, 90 minutes, plus I've got to chuck in Andy's. So, this might be a 2-parter if you're listening to this. But thank you for being here. Thanks, Andy, for joining me, for taking time. Appreciate it. Really good.
Always a pleasure.
Good. Thank you. And look, you can follow us on Threads, Blue Sky, all the socials, on the podcast apps, on our YouTube channel at The Grove AFC. Give us a like, subscribe, comment, and all that. We really appreciate it when you do, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you. Next show will be after Sunderland, most probably on Sunday, pre-Brentford away. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, there we go. Thank you for listening. Fuck you, Chelsea, and everything you stand for. And until the next time, come on, you Gunners.